Decidueye is the grass-type starter Pokemon from Gen 7 that was recently made available in Gen 9 from a Tera Raid event. In its debut generation, Decidueye was ranked in the NU tier in competitive singles. Gen 7 had a pretty high power level and it was tough for Decidueye to keep up. Gen 9 has a high power level as well, but it also has limited options. Many competitive singles staples are not in the game yet, and a lot of Pokemon have lost some of their most important tools. Could Decidueye fare better in this environment, where its utility is actually worth something? Let's take a look at what Decidueye can offer in Gen 9 competitive singles. But first, an important announcement. Criminally convicted Pokemon Iron Mugulus is allegedly orchestrating a prison escape alongside fellow Pokefelons Garganacl and Goldengo. Spidops is theorized to be involved. Like this video and subscribe to the channel to alert the guards and keep the dangerous Iron Mugulus away from Pokemon civilians. Thank you. Decidueye has a pretty average stat distribution. None of its stats are particularly great, but its grass ghost type combination and decent special defense let it function okay as a defensive utility Pokemon. Decidueye has the signature ability Long Reach. This ability prevents any of Decidueye's moves from making physical contact with the enemy. This is quite useful on a Pokemon with access to U-Turn. U-Turn is one of the best moves in Pokemon due to how safe it is to use. U-Turn lets you see what the enemy does and respond accordingly while dealing free chip damage. One of the best ways to punish U-Turn is with contact effects like Rocky Helmet and Flame Body. Decidueye's ability makes U-Turn even safer to use than it already is, shielding you from this counterplay. Decidueye also has the signature move Spirit Shackle, an 80 power physical ghost attack that prevents the target from switching out when hit. Combining this trapping effect with a solid ghost stab move is useful and can make the enemy second guess which Pokemon they send in to answer Decidueye. Decidueye has a nice utility move pool as well. While many other Pokemon lost Defog and Knockoff, Decidueye still has access to both of these important moves, as well as Roost for a form of immediate healing. While these qualities are nice, Decidueye is definitely below the appropriate power level for Gen 9 OU, and I'm sure it won't be long before it drops. Its stats aren't good enough, and its defensive typing is not well suited to the metagame. A Defog user that can threaten Goldengo may seem good, but Goldengo is faster than Decidueye and can just threaten it back. I think that Decidueye might actually be a usable Pokemon in the UU tier. Even though in Gen 7 Decidueye was ranked all the way down in NU, Decidueye has some traits that fit pretty well in the Gen 9 UU format. At the moment, Talonflame with Flame Body is one of the most common defensive Pokemon in UU, and U-Turn users are always afraid of that 30% Flame Body burn chance. Decidueye is a U-Turn user that doesn't make physical contact, which sounds great in a tier where Talonflame is so common. Not only can Decidueye safely use U-Turn without worrying about contact effects, the utility of Defog, Spin Blocking, Knockoff, Spore Immunity, trapping, and the ability to heal reliably could be a really useful set of traits in this metagame. Grass Ghost typing is also pretty good in this format. Sandy Shocks is one of the most prominent threats, and you resist both of its stab types. Gastrodon and Quagsire are common defensive walls in the format too. You can switch in nicely against both of them and threaten to one-hit KO them with Grass Stab. Brambleghast is another Grass Ghost type in UU that has been a solid choice in the format despite its poor stats. Thanks to its useful typing for the metagame and the utility of Spikes and Rapid Spin, Decidueye has the same type combination, superior stats, and while it can't set spikes like Brambleghast can, it has overall superior utility. I think that if Brambleghast is viable in UU, Decidueye should have no trouble succeeding in this metagame. It's always interesting when the viability of a Pokemon shifts so much even when the Pokemon itself hasn't changed at all. Decidueye has the same options it had in Gen 7, but due to various moveset changes, a different pool of available Pokemon, and the metagame that has developed in UU so far, I believe that this Pokemon will be ranking higher in Gen 9 than it did in Gen 7. This is one of the more interesting designs for a starter Pokemon in recent memory, and it would be nice to see it shine a bit more in Gen 9. I could be wrong though. Maybe my prediction is actually a Long Reach, and Decidueye will end up in NU once again. What do you think of Decidueye? Will this Pokemon be more viable or less viable in Gen 9 than it was in Gen 7? Who's your favorite grass-type starter Pokemon? And what would you like me to talk about next? Let me know down below in the comments. And thank you for watching. Thank you to the patrons. Become a patron to appear on this fun end screen alongside your favorite Pokemon, as well as various other rewards such as video requests.
The money got different, 'cause of what I'm spending. The money got different.
Oh, it's
Cause of what
Megaphone!
I'm spending.
Oh,
The money
KO
got
by one
different.
hit! It
Cause
scattered
of what I'm
spikes!
spending. The money got different.